Good morning! Grumpy Pants. Happy that he's driving. Mad that he's not. Hey, stay on the driveway. Anyway, we are starting right where we left off last night, hauling our trash back to the woods. The rain kind of soaked in. We ended up with not quite 4/10 total yesterday. So, like another 2/10, 10th and a half. Out of that one that we got last night, right as I was ending the video. It's good. Corn likes it. We got some cleaning up here to do with this stuff. We've got a seed truck coming in a few minutes to take our empty boxes out, and then agronomist Wade is going to be here later this morning and afternoon, and we are going to go look at some fields. Look at what we have here. Tassels. Corn is starting to tassel. Awesome. Excellent. We are quite uneven and are going to have a very extended pollination window. It is going to take a long time for all of this corn to tassel and pollinate, and well, it'll look better when it's done because it'll all be even at that point at least, but for right now it's pretty uneven. So all this corn laying on the ground, that's all deer damage. The deer come and walk along here, they pull the center out of the plants, take a bite, drop it on the ground. Dad saw that the other day and he's ready to get nuisance permits and shoot all the deer. Yeah. Actually, we're gonna call our deer hunters up and be like, you guys aren't doing your job. We are loading up the last of the empty boxes. Oh, distracted. 38 boxes, 6 pallets, close enough to a full truckload. Get them out of here. We got our truck loaded and cleaned up a little bit more. I am done with the fuel trailer for a little while. Who knows how long. So we're going to get this unhooked. Seed tender trailer row here, which is fine. There we go. Oh, this is so nice. So Wade's going to be here in about an hour. So we've got a little time to kill between now and then. We got the sprayer put back in the Gator. A little boom hand sprayer thing. So we might, I might take that around and spray some edges of some fields and around my house and some general weeds for a little bit. Seems like a good time killer. We're bottle flipping, and one of them was just standing up there doing extreme bottle flipping. I don't know how well that's working. Got our stuff sprayed. Phil's getting ready to transfer corn, or not corn, wheat. We put all the wheat in the bins, which helped us get through harvest faster. We didn't worry about hauling any in. And because of we had wheat this year. We don't have that much. Didn't have that much here at Waldron. We got a bunch down to Berkey. We can actually store most all of it if we want to. So we're going to for a while. But we have those 3 bins that are out back next to the barn that are not connected to our drain system, and we use 2 of those for wheat. So he's going to set up the auger and transfer wheat into those bins and get stuff filled up. So Wade should be here any minute. We're gonna get going. All right, we are standing in a customer's field here, and some good, some bad, right? We've got some decent looking corn here. This was all planted pretty early. It was in April. I don't remember the day he told me exactly, but and then we've got some variable stuff that's not so good, and we do see some nutrient deficiencies, and this is a perfect spot to actually kind of highlight those deficiencies and how they manifest themselves. So you'll notice that this corn has got some significant streaking to it. First thing we think of when we see that streaking is a sulfur deficiency. And he did tell me that he had a planned sulfur application with one of his nitrogen applications that got missed. They forgot to put the sulfur in. He has since come back with additional sulfur and nitrogen trying to kind of rescue it, and it's just taking a little bit of time to get in the plant, specifically because of how dry we have been, but that should help mitigate this some. The other thing that could be causing this, and we think of it because it's how pronounced some of the streaking is zinc and manganese, and it's a little hard to tell which one. I would lean towards zinc more in these soil types, but that's just my guess. And that's why I put a bunch of zinc in with my starter fertilizer so that we don't have that issue. The next thing we're going to notice is if you look at some of these lower leaves specifically, we'll see this one, we see some yellowing along the edges of the leaf. And this was more pronounced on the ends, but we do see it here. Here's a good example. That is a potassium deficiency. And like Wade said, it doesn't matter how much you have out here. When it's dry, you can't get potassium into the plant because it moves into the plant with water. And so you could have had 4 times as much as you actually need. It wouldn't matter. You'd still show deficiency symptoms. So that's not something that was done wrong. There's nothing of that. Just dry conditions making that happen. So one other thing that we are seeing, notice this purpling right on that edge. That is a phosphorus deficiency, and generally that's a compaction, dry roots, small root system that just can't find the phosphorus to get it into the plant very well. There was a leaf over here, I saw this one here, it's really pronounced along that edge, that purpling. So in this tough spot right here, we see all of those things. We walk over here half a dozen rows to some that looks better, and we don't see as much of the yellowing on the bottom. The very, very bottom leaves we do. We don't see the purpling at all. And the streaking is still there, but not nearly as pronounced. As you get out to the newer tissue, we don't see it. So it's just variable. That's the weather that we've had this year. All right, we've moved on. Better corn here. Got a little deer damage. This is all deer. This one was chewed off a long time ago. Yeah. No good, but we are starting to see some tassels a little bit. At least there was one back there. Now that I say that and I'm looking, I'm not going to find one. But yeah, this corn looks much better. Much better. We don't see the striping. I like it. Found a little baby ear. We are 18 around on that one. I'm surprised. That's good. What? Oh, you found the bug? A whole bunch of bugs. What are they? I'm gonna take it. You can tell those lower nodes suffered while it was dry. Moved on to looking at some soybeans here, and this is a beautiful field of soybeans. 15-inch rows. These are a 3373s, and they're starting to look really good. We are seeing a little bit of some Japanese beetles. This spiderweb leaf pattern here that they leave, that's classic Japanese beetle damage. You can see our bottom leaves are burning up. Now they're going to get worse because they're getting so shaded they can't get any sunlight, but we don't like to see that. That's totally due to the dry weather early. We have very close node spacing here on the bottom, but nice flowers. We've got nice big trifoliates on the top here. We've got we've got good looking beans. Some disease on these lower leaves, these brown spots, don't like to see that. The upper canopy though looks for the most part pretty well. It is too early for fungicide right now, so when these get to R3, which we are not there yet, it'll be time. We got some decent nodules on there. They look good. They look real good. We have moved on to another customer. Actually have a plot out here for me. You can sort of see the different varieties in the background, or the definite difference right here. Some interesting things happened here a few weeks ago. How long ago was your hail? 2-3 weeks? Yeah. 2-3 weeks ago, hailstorm came through. Look at these bottom leaves. See how shredded these are? Really tore it up. Quite severely, actually, worse than I thought. Now, it didn't level it and totally flatten it like some of the hailstorms that we've seen, but new leaf tissue all looks good, great. It recovered, grew out of it. Not going to be significant long-term effects, but definitely not something that you like to see the bottom leaves all shredded like this. We do still see some of this streaking in here. Now this field I know has had ample sulfur, like a lot of sulfur, so I do not believe that that is what we're seeing here. They also do some Y dropping, and we can see where some of that sulfur nitrogen got on some of these leaves and burnt some of it. Bad on the ends, not out in the field, not a big deal. You guys want to see something cool? All right, so we're looking at roots. These are nodal roots, brace roots sometimes called, but if you look at them real close, you can see that stuff dripping off of there, and this goo right here, and on this one you can see it. That is the plant secreting sugars and stuff out of its roots to feed the microbes. It's really slimy. Trying to get a drop of it with my fingers. And that is what's feeding the microbes in the soil in order to create that biodiversity to help produce some phosphorus, some nitrogen to help those plants grow. And that is what our source product is designed to help make work better. I don't know. There's some really good corn out here. Now we're into some earlier stuff. This is a 97 day, earlier than anything we really plant, but man, it looks good. I'm gonna be pushing tassels here real soon. Good corn. Good corn. More corn. So we're back at home on some of our stuff where our building site is over there. This is our really good stuff. We wide dropped last week. It looks fantastic. We've got a little height here. We're starting to push tassels as we're supposed to be. Silks are starting to emerge. You can see some silks right here. Little deer damage is what it is, but nice and healthy, green all the way down to the bottom. This is what our corn is supposed to look like, but this spot here, it's in the low ground. It did not suffer from the drought near as much as our other stuff, and that's why it looks the way it does. We'll see how it ends up, but NCGA entry right here. We are walking through the corn plot just a little bit, kind of not real specifically, just glancing through stuff. This was planted later than that other stuff by quite a bit. This was some of the later planted corn. It was almost a month later than the stuff we just looked at. So it's shorter, it's not too bad from that standpoint, but it is nice dark green color all the way across. Relatively even. There's some height variation to it, but it's not horrible. This stuff looks good. It'll look better in a few weeks. Yep. All right. Wade is on his way home. Thank you to him for coming up and walking some fields with me. You guys will see him again later this summer when he comes up for my field day. So we found some good. We found some not so good. For the most part, things are decent to good to okay. We'll be fine. We have some really, really good corn. We have some corn that's not great, but it's just behind. It's not terrible, it's just behind. And then some of the beans are really struggling, and some of them look pretty good. So I don't know, we'll see how things go, but it is what it is. So I have a few paper bags of some treated beans that we need to get rid of. So we're gonna call them kind of double crop, but we have no intentions of harvesting them. It's more cover crop, but we're gonna throw them in the planter and get rid of them. So let's go do that. I didn't show you guys what it looks like in here. Empty. It's good. We've got a pallet of some open bags of beans over here. We've got to throw those in the planter, and that'll be it. Okay. So we're gonna plan out what we've got. I bet we can only do 5 or 6 acres. Would be my guess, something like that. We'll see. It's dried off enough. I mean, it's not dry, but it's dry enough that it's not sticking to the gauge wheels. So we'll be all right. Like I said, we're just getting rid of seed here. We're not going to harvest these, most likely. We have plans of tiling this field, and if we tile it, we won't be able to get the bean head down the rows because there'll be tile lines everywhere, so that isn't going to work. We have clover growing out here, which I have zero intention of spraying and killing off anytime soon, so it's going to outcompete the soybeans, which means the beans aren't going to grow that good, which means they wouldn't yield very good anyway. In theory, we could harvest them if somehow they are great beans and we can figure out how to get a bean head through them, but it's going to be 5 acres and probably not going to be the case. So they are treated beans, treated leftover plot seed. So I didn't pay for the seed because it's plot seed that was left over from when we did the plots. It's treated, so I couldn't sell it and dump it at the elevator. This is the only thing I can do with them. After we keep them for a year for next year, they don't really trust the germ enough to be able to plant them as regular first crop beans. Plus, it is mixed maturities and varieties, and it is mixed trait platforms. We have enlist beans. This is mostly what we plant. Most of these beans are extend to flex. Some of them are enlist. They just doesn't mix with our herbicide platform of choice, and so this is the best option just to get rid of the seed, more or less. Two rounds done. We're almost out. I can see a little bit on the left side and not on the right side. So I don't care if part of it runs out and the other part doesn't. We're just going to keep going until they all quit planting. So we'll watch our monitor here. Each one of those bars represents a row. When they're all red, we'll stop. So this is what happens when we start to run out. The black rows are still planting decent. The orange ones are low population. The red ones are basically not planting, and then it tells us up at the top the row numbers. So when they're all red and we know we're out of beans, and we don't have very much to clean out of the planter, there'll be less than a quarter of a bag left in the whole planter at that point, maybe even less than that. I think we're out of beans. Rows 130 through 32 are not planting.
You're not planting right now. You're just
just running it through the ground for no reason, huh? Okay. Well, when we get up to the end, we will fold her up and put her back in the barn. Next time Brock comes to work,
he's washing the windows.
I got a bean planter for you to clean, Brock. Okay. That job is done.
This has 8 tires.
8 tires. You're correct.
It's got doors on the front and the back.
You're right. Oh, those two. They did pretty good today. They were in the truck the whole time we were walking fields and looking at stuff for my customers. Spent a few hours riding around with us and walking fields, so I appreciate them being good. Now they're going to play somewhat dangerously with tarp straps, but whatever. They'll be fine. I'm going to go mow lawn. We're going to call it a day. Editing's done. Thanks for watching. Crop scouting was slightly more exciting than you guys watching me open paper bags of beans, but hey, you watched that, so you'll probably watch this too, you know. And if you watched both of those and you really enjoy this content, you probably need a Border View Farms t-shirt. So head on over to borderviewfarms.com, farmfocus.com, and grab yourself a Border View Farms t-shirt, hat, hoodie, stocking cap, whatever you want. Winter's coming. You might as well get ready now, right? Get yourself some hoodies. So thanks, everybody. Have a great night, and we will see you again tomorrow. We've got some spraying to do tomorrow, and whatever else we've got to do. So see ya. Good morning. Get day 2 today because I was busy yesterday, or because I don't have much going on today. So we're just gonna spray some this morning, and then I got other things going on and I'm gonna get out of here. But we gotta get some chemicals around. We're killing mare's tail, spraying our double crop beans. Okay, we are all loaded up and ready to go to the field. So, we're targeting double crop beans today, right? We'll get that monitor set up in a minute. So in our wheat, we don't use a whole lot of herbicide. We use a product called MCPA, which is a 2,4-D derivative. It is a mild form of 2,4-D, more or less, because it is safe on the clover that we are spreading for cover crop seed. Now, this particular field where we're going didn't actually get the cover crop seed, the clover, because we knew we were going to double crop beans, so we could have used a little bit more potent, effective herbicide, but our weed pressure in wheat is generally not super heavy. We've done a good job with our weed control program in other crops that keeps it down in wheat, and it's easier to use one program across all your acres. So we just left it go and didn't mess with buying something specific for just this one field. But when I was harvesting it, we noticed a lot of mare's tail. Now, mare's tail is our problem weed. I know in certain areas of the country, and most of the country, they deal with water hemp. We, for whatever reason, have been very fortunate and do not have much, if any, water hemp around here. We also don't have Palmer Amaranth, which I know they deal with down south farther. Mare's Tail is our big one, and it is resistant to Roundup, to glyphosate. So I cannot just spray glyphosate on it and kill it. Won't work. Doesn't do it. So we actually don't have any glyphosate in the tank. We will probably need to spray these beans with Roundup at some point here in a month or two because of all the volunteer wheat that will start growing. But we have to get these Mare's Tail killed before that. So we planted Enlist soybeans on our double crop beans, which means they are resistant to Enlist herbicide or a 2,4-D. It is a 2,4-D herbicide, and so that's what we're using. It will kill the Mare's Tail, and it won't kill the grasses, but it'll kill the Mare's Tail. So that's what we're going to do, and get these cleaned up a little bit. Made it to our double crop bean field. Before we start spraying, let's get out and let's look. Let's see if our beans are coming up yet. Let's see, today's the 14th, I think. It's the 14th. We would have planted these on the 9th, so it's been 5 days. Oh my, look at this. Oh my. Excellent. They're coming. We got a bunch. They look good. Excellent. Off to the races. Look, geese. The geese hunters, mainly my brother-in-laws, come around here saying, oh, they're so hard to shoot. Like, how hard can this be? Like, you don't need 150 decoys. You just show up to the field in a sprayer and there they are. Like, walk up to them until they start flying and bang, there you go. Clearly, I'm not a hunter. I don't understand. But it doesn't seem that hard to find them. Since we're spraying a herbicide today, it's very unlike spraying a fungicide. We actually have to cover the whole field. Now, it's wheat stubble with double crop beans, so it's not super critical, but we do want to do a good job, so we're backing into the corners and trying to hit everything. So, spraying along the neighbors there. You can see some of the green stuff poking through. Those are Mare's Tail, and that's what we're after. There's some over there. A little hard to see because they haven't made it above the wheat stubble just yet, but they are out here. It's a little patchy. They're not everywhere. There's enough of them. We're just going to spray it all. Either my depth perception is way off, or Dad really hogged the neighbors when he sprayed the wheat. Those are his tracks. I'm pretty sure I'm on the line there. It sure looks like I'm spraying the weeds that are dead in the middle there. There's a patch. Done. And like always, we always end up on the back side of the field. So, fold her up and get out of here and back to the farm. All right, it is a Friday. One of the little towns not too far from here is doing their little town festival over the weekend. It happens to be where my church is, and they have the men's group does a sausage sandwich stand where we cook sausage sandwiches all weekend. So I'm gonna go help with that. Phil's still transferring wheat into our bins out back there. There's not a whole lot else going on pressing here today. So we've got a little bit of slow time for a week or two here. I'm wondering if by the end of next week it's time to start spraying some fungicide, especially on this corn starting to tassel. Might be a little bit early, but I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, I think I'm just going to wrap this one up here. That's why I didn't post yesterday, because I knew this one would be short today. We'll just throw them together. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great weekend. I will see you again on Monday. Oh, no. Whoa. Tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. So you may or may not be seeing this before, but I'm going to do my agronomy live stream. We're going to dissect a corn plant. You guys love that video. Some of you have been waiting for it all year. We're going to do that one tomorrow morning, but I'm going to do it as an agronomy live stream. You can watch me take it apart live. I'm thinking 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. So look for that. Regular video again on Monday. We'll see you guys later. Have a great weekend. Like and subscribe. And yeah, see ya.